Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, hi Jewelle, hi theater kid Soph. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Hi. It says you're unable to join. I'm trying to link us up on this live. I wonder why that is. That's weird. Oh, okay, good. Good. I always think that it's me doing something wrong with these things because I always feel technologically challenged. I'm not a total noob, but as they say, but I don't know. It still says you're unable to join. Wonder what that is about. Okay, wait. Can do it. I think I got it. Connecting. Yes. Okay.
There we go. I always forget that you can only do this from a phone and not the computer.
Yes.
So I always go onto my computer. I'm like, oh, this will be great. And then I'm like, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah. It's really weird. It's this really weird thing with Instagram that I don't know if they do that on purpose or what, but you can't watch lives on your laptop. You can't get a live on a laptop. So
I can watch a live on a laptop. I can watch a live on I can watch it on the laptop. I just can't. You just can't do it on the laptop.
Do it on the laptop. Okay, shows what I know.
Yeah.
This whole social media, I'm using it to try to outreach to people is such a learning curve for me. And it makes me feel old, which you know what I mean? It just scrambles my brain.
It's a learning curve for everybody. The fact I've done this more, and I've done this more than once. I've tried to do live from my computer more than once. So
it's all good. Yes. So welcome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Let me introduce us. I am Dr. Elisa Hurwitz. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I also do Dr. Drama, which is talking about the intersection of psychology and theater. And my guest today on Mental Health Series Live is Jewelle Blackman. You may know her as the contralto Fate in Hadestown. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy.
No problem. Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yes. So first of all, I just want to shout out your Africa continent earrings. They're fabulous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yvette, one of the other Fates, actually bought these from me because I had a bigger pair and I lost them somewhere on 8th. I don't know. And I was really distraught. And so she reordered me a pair. And I was like, do
you think you lost them on 8th?
Oh, I definitely lost it on 8th. I was walking up. Yeah, I definitely lost it.
They got trampled then.
Oh, yeah. They're long gone.
So how are you doing?
I'm okay. Yeah, every day is a process, but it's I have some kind of a groove now, I guess, so that helps.
Yeah.
But it's still very surreal and very strange. Yeah, it's just when I have to go out and do things and having to wear a mask and seeing all these people with their masks on, it's still what is this that I'm living in? So but
it's the pockets of normalcy, if you're home making dinner or whatever, whatever feels kind of like normalcy to you, and then you step outside of that, and it is almost like a slap in the face. And
then it's not normal.
Yeah, that's totally not normal. Yeah,
so strange.
I'm
hoping.
You can feel free not to answer this, but I know you're a mom.
Yeah.
Were you able to get back to being with your son?
Yes, and I'm in Canada. I'm in Canada,
wonderful.
In my backyard. I like to try and get some sun, so I come out here, and it's a nice day. It's still cold, so I have a jacket on. I'm back, and I made it back. Luckily, as soon as we found out, I left. We found out March 12th or 11th, whatever that was, and I was back here March 16th.
Oh, good. Yeah,
so I was in here for a while.
Oh, good. How are you finding? Is your son doing the remote learning for school, and how are you finding?
Yeah, so that was a bit of an annoying thing because my son, he goes to a private school, and they were only willing to let me continue doing the remote learning through the school if I continued paying the ridiculous amount at the same price. And I was like, if you even gave me 50% off, I would consider doing it. But you want me to pay the exact same price as if he was in the school? I was like, absolutely not.
Yep.
So I was like, I call it Corona schooling, where he luckily had brought home some books from school because it was right before March break. Here in Canada, they have a March break. And he had left school right around then. So he luckily had brought home some of his school books. So I have his math book, and I just go through it, and I say, you're going to do these pages today. We're going to do a word search just to get you focused on something. We'll maybe do a movie report or a little book report. I have him do a chapter book report every day. But then that's from like 9 to 1. And then after that, I'm like, go have fun. Yep. I'm like, I'm not a teacher. This must be weird for you, just like it's weird for me. So So now he's on his computer playing his computer games with his friends online. I'm just like, okay.
That's awesome. I mean, with that focused time, of whatever that is you're doing, like 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's more than equal to a full day in school because they don't have one-on-one time like that.
That's true. That is very true.
So that time away is totally, that totally makes sense. It's funny because some of the patients I see who go to private schools around here, I'm finding that they're getting assigned a lot more work than the public school kids, and I wonder if it's not because those private schools are like, we better like give them what their money's worth. So
maybe I don't know, but I'm like, how to just even learn remotely to do that. Like for a child too, he's 9 years old. The expectations are just, let's be real here. This is not a normal situation. So
and their ability to attend, to a screen for like all of us, it's not easy, right? Like I find, I'm on these Zoom, not Zoom, but video classes all day.
Yeah.
And this meeting and that meeting, whatever, on there, and I'm like, I'm done.
Exactly. Especially when you don't want to be doing it. It's school. It's still school, right? So it's still having to learn something. It's different when we're just browsing and playing a game. Yeah. But to actually have to be processing information and learning something, like
the need to play.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to play. I think that's undervalued. I think just kind of in general, society-wise, that the importance of play for kids is how they learn too.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they need to play. That's what you probably dealt with this as a mom too. Is like like how many things do you sign them up for? Because you want them to be enriched, but I also just want them to play. I have like a one activity limit.
Exactly. Yeah. His extracurricular thing is he's quite the track kid. He's been running since he was like 5 years old with a club, and he's very gifted at it. So that's his thing. There used to be karate. There used to be soccer too. But I was like, make it the one thing. So
I also find too as a parent that then you're running. I know it's a little different. Usually recently you've been in New York.
Yes.
But other times I'm sure when you haven't been doing Hadestown, just that regular week with your kid, and then you're if you're having to run from activity to activity, you don't even as a parent you don't have that time. Kid.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to wait till they go to bed.
Yeah.
It's too much.
You come in and you're like, wait, I didn't even spend any time with
them. Exactly. That's the other thing. That is the other thing.
Jewelle Marie is saying that she's in college and that all her courses were expected to continue the same course load online, despite the fact that we didn't sign up for online classes and there's personal and mental problems. Yeah, and everybody's trying to survive a pandemic. Yeah, that's too bad that they're not being understanding.
Yeah. You would think at this point in time, like we've been in it for a while now, so you would think people would be more aware and apt to, changing and modifying things for this new reality, however long this reality is going to be.
I love theater, the theater community, because theater folks adjusted real quick, right? Because y'all are creative.
Well, yeah, and sometimes this is our life, because sometimes we're just flat out of work. You know what I mean? And we have to find other streams. Of course, it's different. This is a way different situation because we don't have the same freedoms that we have to try and make other work or find other work. But in a way, this is kind of I'm not completely off kilter in the sense that I'm not used to being out of a job. No, that's happened many times.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that what I can and cannot do now that I'm out of a job.
Yes.
Is how it's, weighing on me a bit.
Yeah. And any time you could get a job, you could be, auditioning for things and
exactly.
Setting things up. I did want to say also at the outset that this is going to be on YouTube for people who can't be here live. So just I've kind of learned through doing this that I would like to give that heads up in case, because sometimes people share really personal stuff in here. So I just want to know that at the outset, so that you can share anything that you would like with that in mind.
Right, knowing that it'll be there. Yes.
To the folks in the thread. And please also send questions in the thread and make comments to be part of the conversation. So I'd love to talk to you for a minute about Hadestown and about your role in it. Mm-hmm. The first thing I would love to talk about is how it's been for you. So I'm not music theory person, but contralto is the lowest voice for females, right?
Yeah.
So how has that been for you to be a contralto in a world of, soprano divas?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. So I learned about what my part is, contralto, basically doing Hadestown. I always had this lower register. Yeah. But besides, I've also played the role of the acid queen and Tommy. And so that goes down pretty low, but also pretty high. Okay. And so those are one of the only few times that I've been able to play in that register. Because I have a mezzo. I can sing mezzo soprano, and that's what I did most of my alto, most of my career. But doing the contralto, what's cool about it is it's just not that you sing low. It's also it's the timbre of the voice that makes you a contralto, because people can sing low, but it's a tone thing as well. But it's been a really nice surprise, because I didn't think people would necessarily not care, but not make that much of a big deal about it. But it's cool that people now are feeling represented and heard and seen, because it's true, there aren't really parts written for women who can sing this low ever. Yeah. So it's been a beautiful surprise. It's been a beautiful surprise. Yeah. Yeah. And I love singing down there. It's a cool thing that will always stay with me. However long Hadestown runs, it'll always be thankful for Aeneas and the arrangers, Mike Chorney, all them for arranging that and choosing that particular female voice, because it's not easy to find either. So that's cool that they were very specific with that. They didn't deviate away from finding what they wanted, which is very...
So your voice isn't actually limited to the contralto range?
No, I can, Gotcha. Okay. I've played Nala in The Lion King. I can sing up there. Yeah. I can do it, but I think personally my voice resonates the best in this particular range. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love the moment in the show when you guys get introduced, when as Hermes is introducing everybody, and he refers to the three fates all dressed the same, and you guys, the three of you, kind of give him
dirty, like you said, the three old ladies, and we're all like,
the three old ladies,
three old ladies all dressed the same. We're like, how dare you? We're old.
Yeah. So I'd love to also talk to you about the fates as. So yes, they're from Greek mythology, and so they're these literal characters, but they're also representative of self-doubt, right? Because they're whispering everything to each person that they worry about themselves and reiterate. And I love that idea that we all have, that how representational that is, and that we all have that voice in us of these fates whispering in our ear that we might doubt on our journey,
Of course.
Harassing Orpheus, as he's trying to get out, Yeah.
We're just, I know I'm smiling because that sounds so mean, but I'm just like, yeah, because that's real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even me taking on Hadestown and deciding to leave Toronto and come to New York and making that decision to leave my son here because it was the middle of the school year. And I was like, and I have that doubt. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What are the ramifications of this action that I'm going to take? Right? So I had that doubt. Of course, I had doubt even still while I was there on stage doing the do and thinking, shit, did I make the wrong decision? I'm still dealing with that doubt as I'm there on stage on Broadway. That's what I've always wanted, right? Yeah. But I'm still dealing with the, oh no, shoot, have I made the right? Still doubting my decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. So you have to fight through it. You have to have faith that that listening to that inner voice of what you truly, truly want, aside of all the fear and all the negativity, is going to be okay, and is going to be the thing that will propel you forward, and you work through it and you survive, right? I'm on the other end of it now, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't imagine if I had not come.
Yeah.
But besides all that doubt, I can't imagine if I'd said no.
Yeah.
Listen to that doubt in my head. So yeah, it was, I'm still learning about it.
Yeah.
Still there.
It's a lifetime journey, I think, this idea of the imposter syndrome that, myself, even after I've been a psychologist for 15 years, and, I still have moments. It's stronger at the beginning, but I still have moments where I'm like, who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
To hear people's most intimate, thoughts and feelings, and guide them through this.
Yeah.
Because we all have, I think we all have moments of imposter syndrome. And this idea that, if you've achieved a certain level of, of success, how we define success, that you must, that success reinforces your confidence, and that's not it. I think,
that's not it. Exactly. That's not it at all. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
right. It holds up a mirror to ourselves and our self-doubt. So I just love how coloring Broadway is saying, get out of my head.
Oh.
The Greek chorus in our brains. And I think, even talking about something, when I talk about mental health awareness and like having these conversations, I use the term mental health very specifically, not mental illness, because we all live with mental health, which is the entire range, right? Just like we live with physical health, and have to be aware of that. And so talking about something doesn't have to be a diagnosis or a specific set of symptoms. It could be talking about something like imposter syndrome and just feeling this idea that you achieve this level of success, whatever you finish graduate school or years of work or whatever, and then you're like, yeah, I'm good. I have 100% confidence all the time, and it's not
absolutely not. Yeah. No, not the case. There will always be doubt there, whatever situation you're in, whatever you accomplish. It does not. It does not. That does not make it go away by any means. Yeah.
And you guys have this. There's so many things about this show that I love. That I could just talk about ad nauseum. One of the things I love about the show is that you guys have the show open. I feel like in a very spiritual way. Mm-hmm. It's an invocation, right? So the great Andre DeShields comes out, legend, and commands the stage like nobody can. But in this it feels to me like a religious gathering without being religious.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And I feel like he welcomes, he connects with you guys.
Totally.
And he welcomes us in. And then we're ready to start, you know? And I'm wondering also because he's a legend, and he has a way with words, he's just incredible.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. What have you learned from him?
Oh, what have I learned from Andre? So many things. The strength in stillness. The strength of stillness. About taking your time. It doesn't matter how long it may take you to achieve that particular thing, that particular goal. Take your time. You know, steady will win the race. You know, you'll get there. You'll get there eventually. And to be uniquely you, because I've never met anyone like Andre. And as I meet him, I wonder, why have I not? Do you know what? Because he's such a special person, and he's so himself. He's not trying to be like anybody else, and he's really imparted that, I think on all of us in Hadestown, about just doing you and doing you as best as you can, because there's nothing to benefit from trying to be like anybody else or better anyone else. It's all about you and your own personal growth. Those are some of there's so many little things. And what's cool about Andre, like he's this and he's this. Like he says the most crazy ass things sometimes. You're like, what? Did that come out of your mouth? And then on the other side, he's just this spiritual, legendary, godlike force. He's got the perfect yin and the yang all going on. That's what I love about Andre. He's not just all one thing. He definitely has the yin and the yang of it all, which is great. Beautiful. Yeah.
He does have that stillness again when in that opening scene when he walks across the stage. He takes his time, and he can.
Yep.
Because he has the audience in the palm of his hand. It's quiet. People are listening.
Yeah. Yeah. And he will not begin until everyone is focused and paying attention. Like if a cell phone goes off or if somebody comes in, this has happened a few times. Some people come in just as he's walking across the stage and getting settled as he's standing there, and he'll just stand there and wait. It's not judgment. He's just waiting for you to be ready for what he has to offer you. You know, so he's just waiting. There's no rush. There's no rush.
Shinely Ray.
That's my sister.
Is it?
And she calls me Jew. She calls me Jew.
Because she said great lighting Jew, and I was like, oh, she's talking about me.
In my house, in my family, they called me that growing up. Oh Lord, yes.
She made me do. Okay,
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yes.
Oh, I love that she's here. Hi, my sister. Yeah, my sister sometimes pops up in here too, so I love it. Nice. It's like that. It took me a second, and I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious." Yeah. So another thing that I just think is brilliant. Someone said it's cool that they found an actual god to play Hermes. I mean,
seriously, that's how we feel. That's how we honestly feel about it.
Who else? Yeah. Another thing that I think is so fantastic about Hadestown, a lot of things. So I'm curious actually about this. Are the producers you have on the show? Is it the producing teams tend to be very white, very male? What's the mix up of your producing team?
The main producers, the four it's two women, Dale Franzen and Mara Isaacs, and then Hunter Arnold and Tom. I never say his name right. Tom Curdahy. Tom. Tom. Yeah. Tom. Yes.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yes. And they are all white. But there are some other producers. You know how there are a bunch of people who have money stakes in the show. So there are other ones who do have, and it is a bit more diverse. But still the lead main core they're diverse gender-wise, but racially it's still...
It's interesting. Well, it's because it's interesting. And tell me what you think about this, because it seems to me, and kind of what I've learned is that the more diverse the producers, the more diverse, like truly diverse, not
exactly.
Color blind casting, but actually color conscious
casting. Yes, yep.
The more you get more of that, the more diverse the producers are.
I don't know, but I don't know yet. I don't know if I know enough about producers of shows
Yeah.
to say that. Like, are the producers of Hamilton who produced? I don't see. I should maybe know this stuff.
Right, white guy. Right.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the creative team matters too.
Yes, I think that's where it comes in. I think creative team has a lot to do with it. I think the casting directors, because it's really who's getting in the room in the first place.
Right, who's getting seen.
They hold a lot of power. It's almost like more than the creative team, because they're bringing the people to the creative team to make a decision.
They're actually leaders.
Yes, they really, really are. So they hold so much. I don't think people realize that, but they hold so much power. And if the creative team is not explicit and really clear about what they want their cast to look like, a lot of the time it'll just be what people are used to seeing. Do you know what I mean? So the creative team has to be very clear in what they're trying to do, and their mantra, and what the show is about. And pleasing everyone.
It's I think this show is very successful in actually having beautiful actual diversity in the casting.
And it's like, even we've had some cast changeovers and people coming in, and it's stayed and it's staying that way, which is great, which is a testament to the creative team. That they're like, we're serious. You know what I mean? It wasn't just a one-off.
We
mean this. We mean this. And there are talented people of color like out there. That's all. Hello.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they just want to work too. You want to work too. That's all. You just want to work too.
But I think part of why it's so important is because people need to be represented, right? You need to see yourself reflected on stage, and in a multitude of ways, right? Because no one group of people are a monolith.
Exactly.
Right? And that different experiences bring different colors, different angles. I don't mean colors literally, right?
No, I know. Yeah.
Different angles to performances, to roles, right? So having the Fates be three women of color is very, controlling things, and whispering in ears is very different than three white women. That's a different, you read that differently.
Well, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And what I was actually excited for, it actually didn't get to happen because of this pandemic. But first, Ahmad Simmons, he had understudied Orpheus, but he left before he could do that. And Anthony was literally 2 days or 3 days away from being Orpheus, the first Black Orpheus. And I always felt like when he sang If It's True, that song, that it would resonate in such a different way than when Reeve sings it. Because, like that always, those lyrics always struck to me. But then to me, there was an additional weight to them because of this Black man singing these words. I always thought about that.
I have chills thinking about that. And that's a great example of how different voices can bring different understanding and different read to the lyric.
Yeah.
The choreography, I forget what song it is, but when they're down in hell and the workers, there's one move they do that where they lock their fingers behind their heads, like
and probably in chants.
Like, like they're being arrested.
Shackled shackled or arrested.
And that looks different on Timothy Hughes than it
does. Oh my goodness! Yes, I haven't even thought of that. Oh, that's sick. That makes me feel sick, but in the right way. You know what I mean?
That's how it feels. That's how it feels too, to sitting in the audience. But just these examples of why diversity is not just what do they call that? Virtue signaling,
Yeah.
It matters. It matters to the art, and it matters to people, also to people feeling represented.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. I'm so glad that I remember this one girl who came after a show backstage, this beautiful dark-skinned woman, because I'm a quite dark-skinned woman. She was dark-skinned like me, and she couldn't even speak. When she, like I said, hi, and she just started to cry. And so I gave her a hug, and she's like, just to see you, somebody who looks like you in particular, with this shade of melanin, meant a lot. And and not and I guess also in terms types of the role, that's like I'm playing a god. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
a beautiful god, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you, but like So
that's so powerful, right? Because colorism is a thing too.
Oh,
right.
Most definitely.
Right. Even when the glass ceiling of like beauty magazine covers.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough to remember this, like when it was a big deal for a Black woman to be on the cover of a beauty magazine.
Yeah.
But she would still be like, a light
skinned. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And oh God, that just almost made me choke up hearing that story. How did that feel to you to receive that?
Oh, I felt if I could do this for you, my job is done here. Like I've done what I've come to do, and it's all been worth it for this particular moment. Do you know what I mean? And now perhaps helps to propel her to feel like she can achieve this, because she was a performer and wanting to work on Broadway. Yes. So I made this feel attainable for her. Do you know what I mean?
It matters. Right? And then that is the opposite, I think, of those moments of imposter syndrome.
Oh, that is the complete opposite. Yes. Right? You gotta have those too. Yes.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah. I'm
supposed to be here. Yeah.
So another oh God, Hadestown. It's just how was it? It's so brilliant. How was it for you the first time you read it or you heard it? Your first exposure to this piece.
Oh. So that actually happened in 2017 because they did the Off-Broadway in Edmonton, and that's where I got involved.
Okay.
I saw a breakdown for it, for the theater I was going to be playing at, and I didn't know anything about it. But I saw Rachel Chavkin's name associated with it, and I was like, let me check this music out. And I went online, and the first song I listened to, I don't know why. Oh, it's because the breakdown said Persephone. I was looking at the particular roles, and I said Persephone, and I was like, okay. And it said Our Lady of the Underground, and I was like, what's this song? And I listened to it, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I was like, this is a musical? Like, I could not believe that this existed. Like, I was like, this is incredible. And it was really cool because the breakdown was really specific with saying that the Fates needed to be able to play instruments. So I was like, I'm a violinist. Oh my gosh. Unique voices. I think I have a different kind of a voice. Oh my goodness. It was like all these things where it was like, if this is perfect for, like, in a way, I felt like this was perfect for me. Do you know what I mean? Like I fit it to a T. And then when I found out I got it, it was just like I couldn't. It was great. And just working and meeting Aeneas and working with her and on the music, and she's so open and she's so fluid. She's very specific about sometimes how she wants things, but she's very open to if she hears something that she thinks is better, she will totally let you go in that vein, which is such a beautiful thing. You don't often get that from people working in the business. So that was a beautiful thing. And then working with Rachel, she's so fearless and knows what she wants, not scared to change things. Like seeing all these women in these roles, was such a great thing. Considering the last project that I'd worked on, it was all white male based. So you know what I mean? It was like it was a really different shift. To be in that kind of room. Yeah. And it's just been epic. I say the word epic all the time for Hadestown because that's just one thing. It just kept on, growing and growing and growing.
Do rehearsal rooms with a mostly female identifying creative team feel different?
Yes.
They just Eva said that too. She was on last week or a couple weeks ago. She said the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it other than I don't want to say less egos, but that's one of the main things that I felt was less ego. Yeah. And not that there isn't a warmth when it's all men, but there's a different feeling. There's just a different feeling. There's just a different feeling. Yeah.
Yep. Abigail saying Our Lady of the Underground is one of her favorite songs, especially right now and when the chips are down.
Right, yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Sorry.
Sorry?
No, I was saying a lot of the lyrics in Our Lady of the Underground are like right now. You know what I mean? Like, stuck in a rut, use a little pick me up.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
I got to tell you, my 5-year-old, Hadestown is one of the cast albums that we have on a lot in our house. And my 5-year-old, her favorite song is When the Chips Are Down.
Oh,
she loves hearing you guys sing that.
It's a good jam. That was the other song. After I listened to Our Lady of the Underground and I heard that 3-part, I was like, this is it's a jam. And I was like,
it is.
You can't help moving when you hear it. Yeah, it's so good. And the parts are written so well together. Yeah. It's arranged so well. So well.
When the show returns, God willing, we get back. I just think about the gathering together again in community in every single one of the theaters and across the country. But there are particular shows where I think the lyrics are going to be especially powerful. And
God.
Especially I cry every time already. Reeve at the end, or not at the end, when Reeve says the line, to the world we live in, to the world we dream about, and the one we live in now. Yeah. Always chokes me up. And those words are going to mean something so powerful when we are all back together again in that room.
It's, I know. I just think about that first. I just think about when Andre first walks across the stage, what that is going to feel like. And when he turns to us and he says, all right, there's going to be tears. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot going on in that first show. And I don't know who I saw this from, but I recently saw a lyric. I can't even remember where it's from in the show, but the lyric is, in the darkest hour of the darkest night, Darkest hour of the darkest night comes right before the dawn. And I was like, Aeneas Mitchell, how dare you? Right.
Well, it's like she's kind of a sage, it seems to me, with her lyric writing.
She's so prophetic. There's stuff like, ugh.
Well, why we build the wall, right?
I know, that's what I mean. She's written so much, and I was like, it almost makes me feel uncomfortable, but it's like, wow, just wow,
Yeah. And I love how she said, I read in an interview that she had said about that song, and she, people don't know, she had started writing this as a song cycle, like, I think it was over till almost or, stuff that's Trump and his wife left. But she said, I'm going to put, she said something to the effect of, any similarities to actual political figures and events are purely archetypal. And I was like, yes. That is it.
Exactly. That is it.
Let's see. I'm just looking at questions here. We got one submitted. Oh, I don't see it. Okay, it must have disappeared. People are saying they would love to hear Our Lady of the Underground. Do you understudy Persephone?
That was the other thing. The day of the shutdown, I was in understudy rehearsal on stage for Persephone because I was going to be doing it the following Wednesday for the first time.
Okay.
So, yes, I cover that now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's intermission, right? We'll get back there.
It's intermission.
So close to.
I know. I was like, literally, my put in was Friday. Was the following day. My put in was the next day. It's crazy. The timing. Yeah. Crazy timing.
Can you talk a little bit about the relationship that you have with your two fates, Kay and Yvette, right?
Kay and Yvette. Yes.
Because you guys vocally are so tight. I mean, it feels so good on the ear to hear you guys singing together.
Thank you.
What's that working relationship like? And does that play into the synchronicity of the voices?
Yeah. Well, what's cool about us is I think when we sing our own stuff, if you heard us separately, our voices are very different. Our voices couldn't be any more different. But what's so cool is that we're all so strong in our differences is I think there's not a weak link there. Do you know what I mean? and we are really like sisters. We get on each other's nerves so much sometimes, and we spend a lot of time together. We're in a dressing room together. We do have a lot of fun together, but it's like a true sister relationship. Sometimes you're just like, leave me the hell alone. Yep. And other times you're like, yeah, let's be all silly and whatever. But yeah, I think because we're all strong personalities in our own way. But we get each other and we respect each other, and we know when one of us is having a moment, we just let it be and go through it. So it's really like having two sisters, and it's kind of cool because for Broadway, I didn't come to New York to audition. I submitted a tape because I couldn't come. Yeah. But Yvette and Kay were there in New York. And I think it's so cool that we didn't, a lot of times, like I've auditioned for Hairspray before in shows that have trios, they'll have different groupings come in and sing together to see how they sound together. But we did not do that. So it's almost like they just trusted what we could do individually and figured out that somehow the three of us would come together. And so I think I don't think that happens often. I think that's really, really, really cool and really special, and speaks to, the faith that they had in us and in our talents.
Yeah, and there was alchemy there that they didn't even know they had beforehand, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Mm-hmm. We have someone here saying, Jewelle A. Marie, if I'm saying your screen name right, thank you for giving hope to non-sopranos about being able to play a lead in a musical.
Yeah. You're welcome. I mean, hopefully there will be bigger roles than, like, The Fate's a great role. But hopefully, hopefully it'll lead to like a lead, something else, where you're like actually holding the show or something like that. Because there are other voices out there, other colors of voices, and I think it's time to celebrate. It's great to have a belty voice. That's phenomenal if you can do that 8 times a week and do that. That's fantastic. But there are other voices and other colors and other tones and textures of voices people may not be used to. But let's hear those. Let's celebrate those. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And the thing about a show like Hadestown, it so easily lends itself to really, really open casting because they're mythical beings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, the Little Mermaid. It's like, if you can't understand that Little Mermaid can be black just as much as she can be white, like, what are you not getting? Because you can, I mean, it's just always so silly to me when people get it's not even literal. They're just, they're very,
like that. Yeah. And I remember Rachel saying, I don't know if it was an interview or something about, making sure vocally, physically, that the cast was heterogeneous. She didn't want a homogeneous thing by any sense. She wanted very, very different. Do you know what I mean? And nobody in our show sounds like there's Patrick Pages, there's Kimberly Marbles, like her voice, everybody's got their own kind of thing going on. Everybody sounds different. Nobody sounds the same. And usually that's not the case in musical theater shows. There's usually a homogeneous sound, but there's not that in Hadestown. I think that's what's so cool. I joke that we're a band of unicorns because we're all kind of different.
I love that.
You know what I mean? From height-wise, physically, racially, vocally. Yep. It's such a beautiful celebration of everyone, not one particular type of people, which I think is really fun.
And if an audience can't understand or can't believe, like suspend disbelief that any of these characters can look and sound then you got no hope. Because these are fictional.
They're fictional characters.
Right? But I love that. I love that Rachel had that vision because, in addition to it being fantastical, it feels very earthy. Like what on stage looks like real life.
Yeah. Most definitely. It was great. Yeah. And being in the show too, it's not very often, and unless I'm doing a show like The Lion King or Dreamgirls, do you know what I mean? Where I can look and see somebody else who looks like me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I look at them, look, there's Kimberly. Do you know what I mean? Like that is just one of us, and that's it. Yeah. So it's really, it's cool in that sense. It's cool.
Yeah. Right. There's this right. The issues around casting and representation, granted are complicated, but there's also this thing where people not expect, but they think like there's tokenism, and there's shows, like where you do expect to see like an all black cast or cast like Dreamgirls or The Lion King.
Yeah.
But it's this like it and those are great shows. Those are great shows. But it becomes this, this thing where I think people who are in the majority then end up with this monolithic expectation of what blackness is.
Right? Well, exactly. Yeah. And Hadestown completely eradicates that, which I love.
Yep.
Which I love.
Yep.
Which I love. And there's no telling when, like, I don't know, when they eventually do when they eventually recast and do the national tour or whatever, like the fates could be I don't know, it could be Mexican, a Filipino, and a Southeast Asian. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no...
It could be 3 drag performers.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And even on the breakdown, yes, it's everybody. That's what I mean. Yeah.
I was talking to, I don't know if you know Ezra Minas. They're in Jagged Little Pill and playing anybody's in the Stephen Sondheim, not Stephen Sondheim, Steven Spielberg
West Side Story. I don't, but okay.
Okay, and they're trans, non-binary, and when I had them on, they were talking about, somebody had asked about Dream Role, and they said, actually Orpheus.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're trans, non-binary, trans mask. So I could totally see that, like why not?
Yeah, most definitely.
And I think the show itself, and tell me if it feels this way on the stage, it feels healing. And to go back to what we're talking about with that invocation at the end, and then it's kind of like a prayer. I mean, at the beginning, it's kind of like a prayer.
And the end, yes.
Yeah. And I feel kind of healed, when I leave the theater. And I know, I know it's different on the stage. It's your work, and there's stamina and all that stuff in there. But do you feel that coming from the audience? Like, do you feel that people are moved and healed from it?
Oh my gosh! Well, we can see it. Sometimes we can audibly hear it. We can see it. We can audibly hear it. And there are some days, when you're more in it than other days. There are many days that I will see Yvette or even Kay. What song is it? After, this is not at the end, but near the end, when Hades and Persephone dance. There are people on stage crying. That happens at least 3 or 4 times out of 8 show performance. So yes, we're playing a part, but there's something about this show where it's just in you because you can see. I'm sure we all know a Persephone and Hades, 2 people who are in love, who are struggling, but fighting to hang on and have both been hurt. Do you know what? We all know people like that. So, and even, it doesn't matter how many times I watch it happening in front of me, I'll sometimes have a little, moment like that as well. And then at the end of the show, in Road to Hell Reprise, it feels like a reset. Like we just went through all that turmoil, we went through all that turmoil, and here we are, we've reset. And we're okay. Might not have worked out how we wanted to, but we're okay. But we're gonna try again. And so, we feel it. We're in it for sure.
Yeah. We are too, and I believe that art can heal, and I think this show is one that's impacting a lot of people for a variety of reasons, and I think it's going to be so healing. When we
come back, when I think about it, it just makes me I have a moment. I'm like, wow, I can't even. That's gonna be better than Tony night, opening night. Like I don't even.
It's all of it combined, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be all of it combined.
One night. It's gonna be a celebration and a morning and gratitude and just all of those feelings. But man, those lyrics are gonna hit in a new way.
I know.
So such a great show. I'm so glad you're part of it. I appreciate your voice, and I appreciate you so much coming on here today. If people
of course.
to follow you, where can they find you on social media?
They can find me at L Shelley on Instagram. I think I never know all my handles, but I think that's yeah, and I'm on Twitter. I think it's Jewelle Blackman, but I never know my handles, but I think that's right.
I think so. Yeah. And I'm at the Dr. Drama, DRAMA. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today, being part of the conversation. And if you want to join us on Friday, I have Loretta Abels-Sayre. If anybody saw the Lincoln Center Theater revival of South Pacific, she played Bloody Mary, and she was phenomenal. And she's another beautiful soul. So I'm so excited to speak to her all the way from Hawaii. Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
It was nice to see your sister on here.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for being part of the conversation. Thank you for your time and your
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.